Welcome back, everyone. Going into the second half here of RollPlay One-Shots presents The Perfect Stone. Adam, what's going on?
Well, our old buddy Nip Nops, fresh out of the bathroom and upstairs investigating with the detect magic is about to maybe get stabbed. We don't know, but I think we're gonna start downstairs because there's a man with a choice needs being made. So Cassius, you feel yourself at the fulcrum of destiny. There are two potentially equal outcomes here. You can run upstairs to go and rescue Nip Nops, right? Which you know is in some way your divine responsibility. Mm-hmm. But Magnus and Mayfly, they're down here, and if you leave them, you take away their best defense against whoever this mysterious stranger is that's just come in. What are you gonna do, Cassius?
Oh, I feel his dilemma. I feel like there's a way for this to work, and that would be to take the action upstairs. And I turn to Magnus and Mayfly and say, Nip Nops needs us. Follow me. And I stand up and I knock my fish on the floor. And
It falls from the table in slow motion, trailing bits of garlic aioli as it tumbles to the floor.
This is one of those rare moments when the tether works the opposite way as well. And I'm like, for some reason, I'm really depressed as well as terrified of this.
So maybe
you're
as
also
you
quite
stand,
a small
Cassius.
character as well. Go on. As I stand.
I was just saying, as you stand and you knock the sandwich to the floor, Nip Nops, you feel your eyes begin to well with tears. And upstairs, you're pushed up against the wall, and your which one was it? Which of the twins?
Timothy,
yeah. That's right. Okay, so old
Okay,
Tim has you pinned against the wall with the knife, and you see he sees the tears in your eyes, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell? Are you gonna cry?" And he's got you like pinned up.
I'm actually really mad at you.
Yeah, and he says, "What the hell are you doing here? Did you follow us?"
What do you mean, what the hell am I doing here? I want to be here.
The smell of forbidden... The spell of forbidden magic is overwhelming. It is just pervasive in this room. Like you can smell, if you took a minute, you could probably find the source of it, but the room is just like rank. And for some reason, his sister isn't around. But yeah, so he's got you against the wall. He's got the knife and he's like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Actually, maybe I do want to be. Oh my God, you have the books. You took the books. I knew you took the books. Oh my God, where are they? I need them.
It's just a roller coaster. I think that you watch on his face as he makes a decision, right? You see him think, I don't want to have to kill Nip Nops, but now Nip Nops knows that we have the books. I have to do it. I have to stab Nip Nops to death. Yes, I'm going to do that. And you see that process like wash over his face as he has just decided to commit murder, and it is the murder of you. What are you going to do?
I'm going to, because he's holding me up against the wall.
Yeah,
right?
he's got you by the front of your slightly out of fashion robes.
Right. I'm going to grab his hand and go, please, and cast Charm Person on him.
Okay, all right. So let's have you do that. So the person you touch while casting the spell becomes a friend until they take damage or you prove they're not your friend. Let's see how it goes. Go ahead and cast the spell. Ooh. Don't blow it. Don't blow it. You can do it. I believe in you. Not really.
Oh.
Yep.
It's because of there's really powerful magic in here and it's fucking with my shit, you know.
Sure, let's blame
I'm
that.
a very powerful wizard. Chat.
So, Nip Nops, I'm going to roll some damage. You get stabbed. Okay. You get to move. You move, like you pull away enough as the knife. You realize it doesn't work. He yanks his hand away. He's like, don't touch me. And then tries to stab you. You get stabbed, but it's not like right into your chest. You're able to turn and try to avoid some of the blow. So you're going to take, let's see here, 8 damage.
Dang.
Cassius, you feel a sudden, though distant, sharp pain in your stomach. As you rise from the table, you realize Nipnops truly is in dire danger. Your fish sandwich lies dead on the floor.
Is Mayfly? You also of like smaller stature.
Yes,
alongside Magnus?
I am a halfling. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to aim to pick them both out of their seats and sort of urge them like smaller people in front of me up the stairs.
So you're going to hustle them ahead of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Magnus and Mayfly, what is your response to Cassius suddenly being like, we have to go upstairs, Nipnops is in danger?
I think I see the urgency in his eyes, and I think I also pick up on the moment he feels that stab. I imagine it would register on his face.
Cassius, does your emotional armor come with a face mask, or do we see pain in your face at Nipnops being stabbed?
I think he believes there is, and no one can read him, but he's probably a pretty open book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
you do see that, Magnus.
Yeah.
But there's this other person in front of us, this hooded figure, right?
Yeah, they've just come in and they're full on like super villaining their way into this place. So they walk in and the wind and their cloak and stuff, and they're gliding towards the stairs ominously, like some kind of Nazgul. But they don't seem to be paying attention to you. Like they seem like they're moving with a distinct purpose to go ahead. But if you rush, you can get upstairs before them. But yeah, there's something very unsettling, Magnus, about this person. You're not sure what it is, but they move funny.
Can I discern reality? This person?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So discern realities will let you ask questions.
I can.
So yeah, discern realities will let you ask questions from that list, but you can also spout lore too, which gives you some useful information. So whichever one, if you think you've seen something like this before.
Well, I think Magnus is trying to see whether he recognizes the clothes of what he's wearing from the night that
that's a spout lore thing, I think.
That's spout lore for sure.
Lore. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna spout some lore. And I roll a 6.
Okay. So here's the thing, Cassius.
Experience.
Yeah, take your experience point. Cassius, you take a moment to be like, all right, we got to get upstairs, but first I need to assess the situation. The strange black cloaked, the Dementor, floats across the room. Magnus turns to look like, hey, I think I've seen something like this before. And immediately the hood of this figure turns towards you, Magnus, and you feel a chill wash over you. Can you defy danger with your constitution?
Yeah. Danger.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So you got an 8. Yeah, so you succeed, but at a cost here. Mm-hmm. So you feel a clear and obvious magical effect, right? You feel this thing, and it turns towards you. When you look, the hood that it wears is empty. You see nothing inside but darkness. It's like staring into a void, and you feel your consciousness start to like fade. Like you feel yourself not falling unconscious, but like losing control of your body, basically like collapsing. But you're able to fight that off, or you can feel like you can fight it off. But I think as a result, I'm going to get you to mark a condition. So why don't you tick the box on, let's say confused. So tick that little confused box. It'll be by your wisdom. And so instead of it paralyzing you and leaving you helpless, it just confuses your brain. You suddenly feel like muddled. And Mayfly, you see, I mean, you're pretty used to muddling Magnus's brain, but this is something different. So you see the two of them. You see Magnus look at the stranger, the darkness kind of overwhelm him, and then Magnus kind of reels confusedly.
Okay. I think if Cassius is picking me up, this is something that he's done before. If we need to hastily move away. So like a dog who thinks that he's swimming, I just start like moving my feet in midair as he's carrying me away.
So Cassius has you like a corgi under one arm. Okay.
Yeah. And I think I see Magnus stare at this person, creature, entity, whatever. And I see kind of a, like, what is is it a glaze over his eyes that falls over time? Is it, what what does the bad thing look like that is thrust upon Magnus from this creature? Because whatever that is, I take notice and I close my eyes immediately.
Yeah. If this were a cartoon, there would be little birds flying around Magnus's head. Like it's like he got hit with a 2x4, but it's a mental, spiritual 2x4 instead. So he just kind of like shocks and then stands there reeling. And I think you got an 8, so I think that the thing looks at you, and once it stuns you, it just turns away. Like it doesn't come towards you, but it turns, heading for the stairs. Now, Cassius, you've got Mayfly underarm. If you book it right now, you can get upstairs, but you'll leave Magnus down here. Or if you go and help Magnus, the cloak figure will drift up the stairs, further increasing the Nipnops is going to die problem.
Mayfly's coming with me upstairs. I think I can sort of actually, can I? Can I do two things and say, for example, check Magnus is going to be all right? Like he's not in danger right now, and my awareness is Nipnops really needs us. Magnus is unconscious. The guy, I think I can tell the guy is sort of making his way upstairs.
I'm not unconscious. I'm just like I'm
Dazed.
stunned.
Yeah,
I don't think you're in danger.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go upstairs.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
proper.
Yeah.
All right. So you rush upstairs. All right. So meanwhile, Nipnops, what do you do after you get stabbed? Timothy is like, yo, you followed me, or what the hell? I'm like, I'm going to kill you. So he stabs you. You don't die. He probably notices that you're not dead. What do you do? He's going to stab you again. So do something.
Wait. It's not like I'm going to be able to do anything here, right? You know, I'm up against a wall. I'm apparently not charming enough to charm you because you are so charming yourself, obviously. I'm just saying I'm not exactly winning in this situation. And I'm also not really, you know, I'm not a cop, right? I'm not going to tell anybody that you have the books. I'm just saying, like, you know, maybe we could talk about this. I was the reason you knew about the books in the first place, right? Please don't stab me again.
Okay.
That really
So you're going to try to talk your way out of getting stabbed. And the idea is that what is your leverage? What are you offering or holding over Timothy here that will convince Timothy not to stab you? What's the leverage?
I know that Timothy and Tamara are both like pretty hardcore, but Timothy and I, like, we got along all right. So I'm trying to appeal to him, like, you don't have to kill me. Like, you know, like, out of the two of us, I'm the weaker person here. And you know that I'm not exactly in line with the law. So what exactly am I going to do about this? You know?
So you're basically playing dead. You're like, I can't, even if I wanted to mess with you, bud, I can't. So it's pity. You're begging for mercy, basically. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Roll parlay. Let's see what happens.
There you are.
Oh.
He just stabs you again. so you're just like, don't do it, Timmy. We go way back, man. It's just, and he stabs you with the knife again. You take, this time you only take 2 damage. You try to like weasel away, and he's just like, shut up, stab. And so Cassius, you hear, Nipnops, you hear the like thump, thump, thump of big, heavy paladin boots on the stairs. You feel Cassius, you feel the tether getting looser right as he gets closer. And then Cassius, you hear a shout from a room nearby that says, shut up, die, stab. Mayfly, you are hanging from Cassius's arm. Cassius, you come to the top of the stairs. You hear shouting. What are you going to do? Either Mayfly or Cassius.
Cassius is kind of in control movement wise here, so I think you would just run for the door, right?
Yeah, but I also feel that my bond is that I think I've already discerned the realities. I know that she's in danger. I'm going to go straight for the door, and maybe even I'm going to have to sort of lower you behind me as I push the door. I don't want Mayfly to be in front of me.
Okay.
I'm
right, you just kind of alley-oop Mayfly up onto your back, like a backpack?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I think you do that. I'm like, I've got your back, Cassius. You know that's a lie. And then the door opens.
I'm right behind you, buddy. Lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like a master blaster situation going on here. Perfect. So you huck Mayfly up onto your back, and then what do? You just kick the door in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And shout,
Nip
"Nip
Nops.
At the same time.
That's what I shout when I run into rooms too. Nip Nops, can you defy danger with your dexterity, please? As the door that you are currently leaning on suddenly blasts you into the room.
Oh no.
What
Yeah.
stat
So
am I
defy
using?
danger with your dex, and let's see what happens.
Oh my god.
So you get a 3. Fantastic. Good stuff.
It's like slap.
Okay, so let me see. You're gonna take some more damage. How many hit points do you have left here, Nip Nops?
8.
You got 8? Okay, all right. So you probably won't die.
But loads of experience, though.
Yeah. Okay, you take
Yeah.
6 more damage, Nip Nops, as you're blasted
Oh my
forward
God.
because your back is up against the door. The door snaps open. You get thrown forward into Timothy. The two of you tumble to the floor. Timothy's also going to take 6 damage. And Cassius, you see when the door swings open, you see Nip Nops lying on top of some guy, and there's a knife lying on the floor. Now, meanwhile, downstairs, Magnus, you watch as in confusion. Your mind starts to clear a little bit, and you can focus again. But as you do, you watch Cassius carrying Mayfly under his arm dash up the stairs, and the shadowy figure that turned its stunning attention on you follows, albeit slowly, like drifting up the stairs after them. What are you going to do?
I mean, I should follow them, I think.
Yeah, you could also
I'm trying
attempt
to
to
think
dissuade the cloaked figure, because that's coming up behind Cassius. So
Right, because Cassius
Yeah,
has
or-
his attention elsewhere.
Yeah.
I am going to... Where are my moves?
yeah. What can I do to deal with this obnoxious creature or help in any way, shape, or form?
All right, I think I am going to try and taunt this creature. I'm gonna move toward him, and I think I've got to cast a spell. And for my spells, I've got I can prepare 2 spells, right? Before I have to.
And then you
Rest
have all
and
your
lesson.
you have all your rotes.
And then I've got my rotes. Right, so I'm going to call out to this creature, just a challenge, so to speak, and cast magic weapon on myself.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Oh
Oh,
no.
God.
Poor
Man,
Magnus.
what happened? No one?
He's still confused.
Really good rolls today, everybody.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
I mean, even if I wasn't confused, I was still getting a 6, I think.
Yeah,
So that was,
yeah. So normally you would enchant your weapon with magic. But as you draw the weapon and you begin to pray, your prayer is interrupted and this is a telling point, Magnus. When you begin to pray, the sounds of your prayer seem to aggravate the shadow creature, and it turns back towards you, and with a terrific shriek, it lunges for you. Now, it doesn't seem to have like limbs. It's just got tendrils of shadow kind of in the shape of a cloak. And it flutters towards you suddenly, shrieking in rage or anger. Now, Cassius, upstairs, you see Nipnops lying on top of this guy you've never seen before. Mayfly, you recognize some of the gear in this room. You recognize Timothy from what you can see of him.
Oh, of course, yeah. Is he
And then the two
cognizant?
of
Like, is
all
he
three
aware?
of you. Yeah, they're not unconscious, but Timmy's like, "Get off me, stupid elf!" And is like trying to they're kind of tangled up. And then you hear this screech from downstairs. Mayfly, I want to see what you're gonna do because Cassius just kicked the door down. You're clinging to his back.
I'm probably fixated on Timothy, so I think I just like the second that I see that Timothy is there, oh, Timothy, you're here. I'm sure Tamara is lurking somewhere. and I start to like look around for the twin.
Yeah, and Tim, I think rolls Nipnops off of him, and he looks up and he's like, "Ah, hell, you're here too? And what is this, a paladin? I thought you said you weren't with the cops, Nipnops. What the hell? I should have stabbed you 3 times instead of just twice."
God, they did the they did the magic when we got attacked. I think. Jesus, that hurt. Fuck.
Can I cast lay on hands before that would be my immediate?
Yeah. You can come over and lay your hands on Nipnops.
God.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that'd be
I never
good.
thought I'd be so happy to
Excellent.
see you.
Okay, so here's a
actually-
question. You can choose, Cassius, you can choose to heal 1d8 damage or 1 disease. Nipnops, do you have any diseases you'd like cured? Or...
I'm going to
I'm
go straight
pretty
for 1d8.
You're like, no, you can keep the
Yeah,
chlamydia here. You
I
can
get an
go
itch in
1d8
my
damage.
nose. I know he's lying.
Okay.
What do I do for my 1d8?
So in the Roll20 the chat box, you can just type /R and then D8. Yeah, I think JP
Okay.
just typed it in
Space
there.
D8. Yeah. It looks like
Yeah,
that.
/R space D8 or roll D8, and that'll give you how many.
Okay.
Also, like
Okay.
chat,
Not so good.
elves believe in
That's
Jesus.
okay.
I mean, I guess so. Sure, why not?
There are lots of gods here, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
got 2 hit
Nipnops,
points.
you get 2 health. You get 2 health
Oh,
back.
thank you.
Cassius lays his big beefy hands on you and heals you. Timothy stands up and
Love
brushes the dust off himself, and he's like, "Listen, this is all just some kind of insane misunderstanding. I didn't even know you assholes were here, let alone attack you in the night or whatever the hell the elf said we did."
I'm sorry, I've
And in
lost
that-
a lot of blood.
In that pause, so you're like, "I'm sorry, I've lost a lot of blood." There's a terrible screech from downstairs as we
the hell
cut
is
downstairs.
that?
Magnus, the shadowy thing is flying towards you. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna fucking smash it. I'm gonna hack and slash.
Okay,
As it comes
great.
back.
You hit it.
Okay, so what is your weapon that you
I
have?
have a warhammer,
Nice.
a 2-handed warhammer. So I'm
Nice.
cracking it down. I'm aiming to crack it down right on the hood where the sort of shadow is, and
Yeah.
split it. So I roll. Is that just it? Right? Is that my move? No, I rolled down.
Yeah, so you got a 7, which means you deal your damage, and it gets to make an attack on you of some kind.
So I roll that. Or is that just
y-
D6?
Yeah, so your damage is based on your class, and you are a cleric, so that means I think it's a D6 for you.
Yeah, I got it here as a D6.
Yep. Yeah, so you just roll a D6, and that's the damage you're going to deal. And then it is going to it is also going to
Dash
do
roll
some
D6.
damage to you.
Yeah. Remove the period from when I just pasted.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Good.
Yay.
You wing it slightly. You deal it
Yeah.
1 damage. You know, this would be a lot more effective if you just cast magic weapon first. So you swing your hammer, and this thing is mostly like shadow. It's an enormous shadow. It seems to get bigger as it comes towards you, and you swing out, and there's a little bit of resistance. You feel like you've wounded it in some way. And then you feel its shadowy talons and like reach in around you and grab you. So you're gonna take some damage as well as your flesh grows cold. See if I can roll better. I can. You take 7 damage.
Jesus.
If you have any armor, the armor reduces that damage by the amount your armor is.
Got it. I take 6 damage.
Yeah, so you take 6 damage, and yeah, it's all around you. It's not even like a singular thing. If we look, and I think maybe this is when Bridget comes out of the kitchen with her plate with some like salads on it, and she sees you, and there's just this cloud of darkness swirling around you, and she's just like, "Oh my," and like goes back into the kitchen. So
Fair enough.
upstairs, Mayfly, Nipnops, Cassius. Timothy hears the scream and makes a face like, "Yeah, you should all go down and check that and leave me the fuck alone."
Is he
That'd be a
reaching
great
for the
idea.
dagger on the ground, or is he just
No,
waiting to
but
see
he
what
lo-
we do?
I think he looks at it, and then he looks at you, Mayfly, and then you both look at the knife, and then you look at each other, and you look at the knife, and then each other, and he's like,
I'll draw my my bow, and I like point it towards him and say, "You're not getting the dagger. Don't think about it. We should go downstairs. Magnus seems in trouble."
What?
Come
Come on,
how
I
you doing?
skied and cast the spell at the same time to get here. That's hard. I've practiced that for a long time. Ask him. I'm not lying.
You sound fine, Nipnops. Let's go.
What?
And
What?
yeah. And you want to just like run back downstairs?
I think I'll stay up here with Tim. I think my bow is drawn on Tim and Cassius, and maybe Nipnops run downstairs.
Excellent. Nipnops, are you going to stay up here, or are you going to go downstairs?
No, I'm gonna go with Cassius because otherwise he's gonna be a real bitch about it.
that's right.
Okay, all right. So the two of you leave, and as soon as they're gone, Mayfly, Timothy looks at you like, "All right, man. Now that the squares are gone, we can talk for real." And he's like, "Listen, Mayfly, you came in at just the right time. I can talk to Tamara. We can cut you in on this whole thing. We got a great racket going. We got this.
I don't want
shadow
no
thing.
pointless, whatever gold, whatever you're in this for. You know how I feel about that." And I like let the bow. Put the arrow
And
back
he nods. He nods, and he's like, "Yeah. We're not about that life anymore either. This isn't about gold or real estate or any of the other scams we pulled. We got hooked up with a real big boss this time, and he's got plans, big plans for power, and we're helping him. See, these dumb dwarves, they don't even." And he looks around, and he's like, "I need to know you're in before I tell you anything else."
You're such a bore, Tim. I'm in.
Yeah, and so, yeah, right. He nods. He's like, "Yes, awesome. All right, so here's the deal." And then we cut away to Magnus and the cloud of horrific shadow, and Cassius and Nipnops. When you get to the bottom of the stairs, that's what you see: the big empty room, this kind of cloud of shadow swirling around, and Magnus attempting to fight it with a hammer. What are you gonna do?
The question: this +1 forward I got from Discerning Realities ages ago.
Yes.
Has that been applied automatically? Like, what do I do with that?
No. You tell me when you wanna use it. Yeah, you've
Okay,
got it
all right,
hanging
so
as long as it's in
my
relation
next
to. Yeah, you can use it on this next one. Sure.
Yeah, I think it would definitely apply to this next one, where
So what are you gonna do?
I see Magnus. He looks like he's in danger, and I'm gonna shout, "Magnus!" And I'm gonna run and
Cassius!
step through the cloak.
Tetsuo. Okay, so you're gonna run forward, drawing your sword, and come in and try to save Magnus. Okay,
Yes.
all right. So click on up at the top of your character sheet. It says normal, +1 forward, -1 forward, like those ones. Click on the +1 forward, and then make a hack and slash roll.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so same deal. You wade into the cloud of shadow, and you get to deal your damage. But he's also going to get to the shadow thing is also going to get to attack you. So Cassius, you're going to take 6 damage minus whatever armor you have, and then you're going to get to roll your damage as well. Okay, so you take 4 damage.
Yep. And then my damage is a D10.
Sure is. All right.
Nice.
Okay. So Cassius, you wade into the room, swinging your sword aloft, empowered by your divine blood, and with a few quick swings, you cut this shadowy entity into ribbons. And Magnus, you see through this shroud of darkness, you see a light, as if at the end of a tunnel. Before you realize that it's not a tunnel and it's not a train, it's Cassius, and he is bravely repelling the shadow, cuts it to ribbons, and in a moment you see just bits of black cloth drifting to the floor from the shredded cloak, and and all of a sudden, just like that, Magnus, you've been saved by Cassius. What are you gonna do?
Wow. I feel like when I see him, he's sort of glowing, like in this other world with light. I've seen this. I've seen this spirit or this power that I've never experienced before in some sort of way, and then it disappears.
And as it disappears, I'm reaching down sort of through this aura to offer him my hand.
And I grab your hand.
Yep.
And you pull me up. Yep. I'm pretty heavy though.
You guys are looking at one
it's a bit of
another.
a it's not very like gracious. It's quite an old achy get up.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so yeah, Cassius, you pull Magnus up from the ground. Now, while all this is going on, right, Nibnops, you're watching from the stairs. You're not, like gushing blood everywhere anymore. You're still pretty beat up, but the lay on hands helped a little. But upstairs, Timothy tells you, Mayfly, and I'm gonna tell you this where everybody can hear, and then you can decide how much you want to tell everybody, including the lie detector paladin. So Timothy tells you that him and his sister, right after they got those books, which I think you were somehow involved in them ending up in their hands, but once they got those magic books, they started reading them, and they learned that they could use these spells to conjure creatures, like shadow creatures. And at first, they used these shadow creatures to just like rob people for kicks. They're just like, yeah, we don't have to do it ourselves. We just go and knock people out and take their stuff with our shadow servants. But someone contacted them, a mysterious benefactor contacted them shortly after and was like, you have the book. I have a mission for you. And if you do this for me, I will pay you handsomely. But more importantly, it will ensure your place in my future dynasty. And Timothy's like, look at this. And he takes out a piece of paper and he shows it to you. And on the paper, there is that basically that sentiment. You can see they received it. And there is a seal at the bottom. There's a wax seal that is imprinted with a design that looks familiar to you. If you want to try to remember what it is, you think maybe you've seen it before, make a spout lore roll,
Okay.
Mayfly.
There you go. 5. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's not that you don't have any idea. It's that you have an idea that you are certain of, but it's wrong. So it is clearly the seal of the Imperial House of Dogmar. This is like the personal seal of the family Imperial. And so someone in the Imperial family has like commanded them to do this. And basically it lays out the plan. They're to go to Lowfield, to wait until the arrival of Magnus Igneous and send their shadow creatures to rob him. And in the note, it details the hour at which Cassius would be asleep. It details what spells to use to stop Nipnops from being able to use magic. Like the whole thing is just like laid out. The plan has been given to them. And in it says, once you have the stone, meet me at the in the lower levels of the great pit, right, of the sacred sinkhole, and bring the stone with you. And so Timothy looks at you and he says, so all you got to do is just keep your dumb friends off my back until my sister comes back with our payment. She's down there right now with that stone.
Okay. I fold up the letter as he's probably saying this and tuck it away in my bag. Fine. Collect your knife. You need to stab me. If I do it myself, he'll know. The big one. It's lie detector or something. I don't know. I don't understand how it works.
I'm the traitor. Stab me in the arm or something. Okay, so he picks up the knife and he looks at you. He's like,
I like grimace really bad. I'm looking the other. Like I hate physical pain and I hate being hit and I hate being sliced open. So I'm just wait. Please hurry up.
Okay.
Get it over with.
So he's just gonna poke you, just the gentlest he can manage. You take perfect 1 damage.
Great.
It's like
Amazing.
just stabs you in the arm.
Great.
Yeah, just looks like a bad paper cut.
Perfect. Run along. Shove me on the way. You have to do it. He'll know. And I just like brace to fall.
Yeah. And so he like shoves you, and downstairs, Cassius, Magnus, and Nipnops. You hear a bit of a scuffle upstairs. What do you do?
I am drinking a healing potion.
Okay. Yeah. It's just crack a healing potion. I think they heal you 10 hit points.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
guess
like mid guzzle, and I'm like, what's that? What's going on?
Yeah, I imagine I'm perhaps inspecting this creature. Did it like collapse, or did the shadow just dissipate and there's cloths on the ground? How is that kind of?
Yeah, there's bits of like black rag scattered on the ground, but there's no sign of the creature.
Okay, well, I'm probably in the process of looking at that and inspecting it when I hear this sort of clatter upstairs, which takes my attention away. And do I see him falling? Do I see Mayfly, or do I have just heard this noise?
I think it's just here.
I think that's up to you, Mayfly. I think it's just the sound. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're like up a stairs, you would probably hear something falling and maybe someone running off. Like, but
Maybe if I hear Mayfly's voice cry out, then I think probably gets his attention.
maybe like
Mayfly.
Well, I fall
Mayfly,
down.
no.
The boot steps run, and I'm like waiting for someone to come running up the steps, and no one does. So I like roll my eyes and go, "Help!"
Cassius is already upstairs. It's like Mayfly up again.
You're taking the stairs 3 at a time. Just I'm coming. Okay.
I'm
by
trying to
myself.
wrestle Cassius out the way to get to Mayfly first.
Yeah, so everybody runs upstairs, and you see Timothy, like shoving Mayfly and holding the knife ominously and being like, "And don't try it again, or you'll get another and worse this time." So there, halfling.
I
He's at the top
wait
of the
to
stairs now.
see if you guys
It's
bought
not
that. Don't say anything.
I really nearly sneeze with all of the bullshit, but I don't quite.
This is the first time I've been in this room, so I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who Timothy is. I don't know why anyone here.
Yeah. So if you come upstairs, and you look around, the door's open. There's some blood on the floor. The room looks like some people. It looks like there are 2 people that occupied it. They came in and they just dumped all their stuff on the floor. They haven't been here long. There's a big stack of books in one corner.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to try and grapple. I'm not sort of scared of the little knife. I want to grapple this Timothy, or this, I don't know his name yet. Actually, have I heard you've mentioned Timothy's name? So I grab him and say, why are you lying?
Caught wind of the name, yeah.
Yeah, I've caught his name. And I want to know why he's lying, because my nose is on fire.
I smell your lies. Okay.
Yes.
So you just want to like come up and grab him?
Yes.
Okay. So as you stride towards him, he looks at Mayfly like, this isn't how this is supposed to go. Like he gives a panicked look to Mayfly. Mayfly, do you interject or do you let Cassius shake him a little bit?
It's one of those moments where somehow, some way, I smile as I see Cassius running towards me, and the sun gleams on that crooked tooth once again. And I kind of like duck out of the way so the full force is set upon Timothy of whatever Cassius is about to do.
Okay, yeah, he has no ability to resist the freight train Dogmar. So you just grab him and the knife drops to the floor. What do you want to do with him?
I am asking him a question. And I want to say, why are you here?
He says, I'm here for the festival. My sister and I, we came to see the Big Hole Fest, or whatever. I don't know what it. And he looks over at Meg and he's like, I don't know what it is in human. And he looks back at you and is like, yep, that's why I'm here. Total bullshit, complete lie, all of it.
Yeah. Timothy thinks
except the part with his sister, I guess.
Yeah. No, I detect the lies and I shake him again and say, be honest.
Okay. Why don't you?
Let's
parlay.
All right.
Yeah,
Pop
parlay
him in
with
the
him.
nose
And
once.
Can I interfere?
yeah, well, that's the leverage. Yeah, let Cassius roll first, and then we'll see.
Okay.
So
That's
you
his
roll to
charisma.
parlay, Cassius. Yeah, it'll roll with your charisma. And
9.
okay, all right. So this is the fun thing about intimidation. So your leverage is I'm going to hurt you if you don't do what I want. And he needs concrete assurance that is the case. So you give him a shake, and he's just like, "I'm not talking to you, cop." This guy, he needs a sock in the nose or a backhand or something. You gotta show him, put a little sauce on it, show him you mean business.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch him. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even think. Just a quick.
Yeah. Okay. Roll your damage.
Just a roll all right. So
you don't have to hack inside. She's not fighting back. Yeah. Just roll damage.
I don't want to kill him though. So do I have to use my whole D10?
You do, but we can say that you might, like, the worst you
Not
can do is
lethal.
knock him out if you're intentionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
I really hope he gets knocked out.
That is the risk here, right?
Oh my god!
So you deal him 10 damage. You grab him by the shirt. You lift him up, and you're like, "Talk!" And he's like squirming. You punch him once hard in the face. His neck snaps back. He passes out and goes limp in your hands.
Shit.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
Amazing work, Cassius. Well done.
That was so good.
What the hell is
I
going
don't
on?
compliment you enough, you know. Jesus.
I dropped
Anyway,
him.
and I kind of walk my way over to the window, like, man, we should really probably wait for his sister, huh? And I'm like glancing at the books, like, what books are those?
Yeah, I'm down for some investigating of the room. I don't know Mayfly knows anything, right? I'm just
Right, yeah.
I'm down for exploring with Nipnops.
I think if Cassius goes in the room and no one's watching me, I'd like sprinkle the letter somewhere so that Cassius will find it on the ground.
Sprinkle it.
So you just like toss it aside, like, "Hey, look at this letter on the floor."
Yeah. Like it does the letter thing where it just falls down and lands swiftly on Timothy's chest, in his pocket or something like that.
Okay, well let's see, Mayfly. You're pretty dexterous. Why don't you defy danger?
Okay, with
and
dex?
the danger is they get noticed. Yeah, do it with dexterity.
Okay. 11.
Nice.
Easy.
Oh my
okay,
God.
smooth. So Cassius, as if divine providence, and actually maybe it's not even Cassius that notices it. I think maybe, like, let's say Magnus, you notice that there's a folded letter sticking out of Timothy's leather vest he's wearing.
All right.
Yeah, you noticed.
I see the letter, and I walk slowly over to him on the floor, I imagine. And I scan his face, and I don't recognize him. I take the letter out of his pocket, and I open it, and I read it.
Okay, so yeah, you learn the same things that Mayfly did. That there is someone, and they are paying these two master criminals to use the shadow magic they have to rob you of your perfect stone, and they have some deeper, darker plan down in the sacred sinkhole, and you're almost certain that whatever they're up to is going to interrupt the offering. That even if your stone isn't the perfect stone, it's going to make sure that nobody gets a chance to offer up their stone to the gods. And you also notice the black mark at the bottom. Now, Cassius, are you reading over Magnus's shoulder while this is happening, or are you doing?
I see Magnus has pointed it out that there is a letter.
Yeah, I think
read it out, and I would definitely come to have a look because it sounds like something my brother would do.
Yeah. So
And
here's the thing.
I jumped to
right?
conclusions, possibly.
Well, so this is the thing. You come over and you look over Magnus's shoulder, which isn't hard to do because he's a dwarf and he's much shorter than you. But you see the letter. You read it as Magnus does, maybe a little slower, and you see the seal at the end. And I think you recognize it in the same way that Mayfly believed that it was the sigil of the Imperial House. It's kind of true. Can you make a spout lore roll? I want to see how much. Even if you fail, you recognize something about it. But I want to see if you're versed in the deeper knowledge. Okay, something interesting, but you'll have to figure it out. Okay, so the signs. So normally the seal of the House of Dogmar, for some reason, I imagine has like a dog on it because I'm a literalist, I guess. And it would normally have the words. You're a dog with a frisbee in its
on a
mouth.
leash. It's all about the leash control.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, something about like light is the spirit that wears the collar. heavy is the head of freedom. And those are like the words, but they've been twisted. And so instead you see the dog, but the dog has the handle of the leash in its mouth, and the chain goes out of the seal. And the seal instead says, "Bite the hand that feeds, freedom at any cost." And something about this feels like oddly familiar to you, but you can't place it. Like outside of it being an obvious inversion of your house sign, there is something else like ominous about this. So it feels at once alien and familiar.
The letter also mentioned my future dynasty, right? Someone says that's what's written in the letter.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you have secured your place in my future. Yeah, my future. Yeah.
Right. So there's a play on it. Right. I think I say Douglas under my breath because it feels like something he would do, and I don't like Douglas. And the idea he's always mentioned about building this future dynasty. Anyway, so I've jumped to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And I say, my family's got a hand in all of this. And I tear the bottom of the letter of the sigil, and I put that in my sort of arm pocket just for keepings. And the rest of it just crumble into the tiniest little paper ball you can imagine.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you get rid of most of the letter, but you keep the wax seal. It's clear to you, Magnus, and actually Mayfly and Nipnops, everybody's in the room now. It's clear that Cassius has a personal connection to this, that this is something that upsets him. And Magnus, this letter indicates that your perfect stone, your offering for your god, is in the hands of some non-believer who may be ready to ruin the whole ritual in favor of some human Imperial squabble. What are you gonna do?
I think I need to. His anger is rising. Magnus's anger is rising, and he looks over at Timothy, and knows the only. Well, he thinks that the only way to get more answers is through him. So I don't think he suspects that Mayfly has any kind of as anything's going on there. I think Mayfly is just a good egg for him in his books.
Right, of course, because you're being poisoned to believe that. Yep.
Exactly. So I'm going to cast... Can I wake him up? If I casted Cure... No, where is it? Cure Light Wounds. Could I wake up Timothy? Or could I wake him up with more of a... I guess I'll give him a shake first. See if I can wake him up.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Cassius hit him pretty damn hard, so he's going to need to either have a bunch of time to recover or some magical healing.
Or some magic. Sure. All right, I'll cast my spell.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my time with this one because my magic hasn't been working, so I'm going to really make sure I know my words and summon up.
See how it goes.
Summon up the courage. And I touch him on the neck where he got hit. And nice.
There you go. Okay, so you gotta choose one of those effects, and then we'll roll the healing.
I am going to. That's tough. I don't think I'm gonna have time to commune potentially after this. Am I still confused?
You are, yes.
Yeah. Do I feel like that's gonna wear off anytime soon?
You need to rest. Yeah, you need to rest to recover that condition.
Right.
Yeah. Clear your head.
So I don't think I want to take another -1. I'll draw unwelcome attention, or put myself on the spot.
Perfect. That's my favorite one. Okay. All right. So, I think when you kneel down and you pray for healing, we cut to a small, shabby little wooden shack. There are a couple of pews, and there is an altar, and behind it, an ancient and faded portrait, the official state portrait of the emperor. There is no one here. This chapel is empty, save for a single old nun who is staring into a bowl of holy water. And in the reflection in the holy water, we can see the scene of Magnus casting the spell And the nun is gripping the edges of the bowl angrily, watching this scene. But none of you see that. We just get that as an audience. Then we cut back to you, and Magnus, you can roll your healing, and it awakens poor broken nose face smash Timothy. He only needs one hit point, but it'll be good to keep track of how many HP he has.
It's a D8. What's it? Hey.
Excellent. Good. Good. All right. Old Timmy wakes up with 1 hit point. So yeah, you're kneeled over him like Obi-Wan. You got your hand on his neck, and he opens his eyes, and he reaches up and touches his nose, and immediately regrets it and pulls his hands away. There's blood all over his face. And he looks at you, Magnus. He's like, "The paladin hit me."
And I grab him by the neck.
The dwarf's gonna hit me! Help!
and I say, if you don't tell me where the stone is, I will kill you.
Make a parlay roll. Let's see. Your leverage is me and my goons will beat you to death if you don't help. So let's see. Okay. All right. So I think in this case, normally you would be required some concrete assurance, but he's so fragile that any violence will knock him back out. So I think even just looking at Cassius and looking at you and looking around, he casts a pathetic look over at Nipnops and Mayfly, like, come on, guys, we're friends, right? Help me out here. And then gives up. And he looks at you, Magnus, and he says, I don't understand why you want it so bad. It's just a rock. They're all just rocks, man.
You wouldn't understand.
How dare you? I say with fish in my mouth. How dare you?
Wait a second. Nipnops, are you
These
eating the
rocks
fish
is their
sandwich off the
religion.
floor?
There is their religion. Look, everybody ditched me. The fish was just sitting there. Why?
Cassius, Nipnops is eating your floor sandwich. But point taken, right? And Timothy says, listen, obviously there's been a case of mistaken identity and some other confusion. And me and my sister, we didn't mean to offend anybody or like violate your cultural stuff. We just had a job to do, man. And it's not fair that you're coming in here and punching me in the face. And I'm just trying to make a living, okay?
You lied to me.
I don't have your stone. It's not here. It's in the hole now, man, with my sister. So you got to talk to her if you want your rock back.
And Magnus slams the floor next to him, crushing another rock.
They just keep appearing. It's so threatening.
and says, "Who was it? Who told you to find my stone? Who sent you?"
He shakes his head. He says, I don't know, man. We never met him. We got a letter and he told us how to use the spell books. I'm not a wizard. And he looks over at Nipnops and he's like, but we said the words he said we should say. And we, the shadows and then they took the stone and gave it to my sister. And now she's delivering it. And then this guy says, we're going to be rich. So
does my nose
money,
itch?
Right?
Or
We
is it all right?
could pay you. No, everything he's saying is the truth. Yeah, as far as he knows it. He might be misled or being lied to himself, but he believes what he's saying. Yeah.
Magnus takes a minute to himself, a few seconds, and then stands up, hoisting Timothy up alongside him.
Yeah.
And says to the team, there's more. He thinks there's more to this than just the rock. This festival is at stake. But this man needs to go into custody. We need to jail him up.
And I say,
Couldn't
no,
agree more. I hate people
I
who
need to
break the
jail
law.
him up.
What?
It's my job.
Son of a bitch.
Cleric.
Are you collecting us now? What is this?
Good. And then Magnus hands Timothy over to Cassius and says, "Great, take him.
Yeah.
Go now."
Yeah, so
Go my
Magnus, you
shoulder.
shove Timothy into Cassius's arms, and Cassius looks up at you, or Timothy looks up at you, Cassius, and he's like, please don't hit me in the face again. I don't think I can handle it.
I knock him out.
He was like, shut up, you. Bam! Okay, cool. He gets knocked. I mean, he's got 1 hit point, so don't even bother rolling. He gets knocked unconscious again. Yeah. So you just slam him in the face. His neck snaps back, and he just goes limp in your arms.
Yeah, he's on my back.
You could give him
And I'm assuming Magnus knows where to go, right? To the hold.
Yeah, I guess we go down the stairs, and there's is there a jail or there a sheriff?
I feel like, and you tell me, Magnus. So the law of this land as a sacred place to your god follows your god's divine law, and I assume it's mostly trial by combat. So you're either alive and innocent or guilty and dead. In that case, but there is a shrine to the emperor, which, as all shrines to the emperor have, it has a small jail. So you could put him in there.
Well, I imagine he would want to trial him by his own deity's beliefs, considering he's committed such a sin in his eyes. And so bundles him and then takes him towards the fighting pits, which would be his sentence, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So you drag him out of here. Nipnops, you have a question?
So I just, before we move on,
yeah,
everybody's like walking out, right? I have a bag that allows for 3 books, and I want to swap out my books for the books that were in that stack.
Nice. Okay, so you can change. You have in your equipment a bag of books, which I will edit for you, because now you have a bag of forbidden books. Excellent. All right. Yeah. So you're just like,
they're the books that I was allowed by the incredible Holy Kingdom. Thank you very much for my 3 books that I was definitely allowed to have.
Yes, definitely, for sure. Yeah. So you just swap them out. Whoop, 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 and now you have three spell books of forbidden rituals.
You even changed the name. Amazing.
Yeah, and now you just now you have this bag of forbidden books. All right, cool. So that's no problem. Nobody's around to notice that you do that. And you follow a few steps behind. So Magnus, Cassius, and with Mayfly in tow, you head over to, I guess, one of these. I think this is a place that has been hosting this festival for a long time. So there are ritual combat grounds. So you arrive. It's easy to find. There's a crowd shouting and cheering, and you arrive pushing your way through this crowd at a small arena. A little sort of rhombus shaped, like lowered stage. There's a bunch of people sitting around, and they're shouting. There's a fight going on right now. We see 2 burly looking dwarves wrestling in this arena for the glory of their god. And Magnus, the sounds of battle, the tang of sweat in the air reminds you of when you were a younger, less bald, but probably equally sad dwarf of your time fighting in the arenas. And I think probably you get a few looks from some of the other faithful, right? You see some people like nod to you or give you like a little wave, like in respect, as they see you dragging this or carrying this unconscious human, Cassius, up to the adjudicator. And there is somebody at a little altar who is blessing the next batch of fighters, and he would be the adjutant, the person in charge of the fight.
I walk up to him and say that this human has sinned under the laws of Vorlocks, committing forbidden magic and violating the sort of the integrity of this festival by stealing, theft, and he's
nodding and he's writing this down. I guess it wouldn't be in a book. He's chiseling the crimes, the accusations, right? And he looks up at you and he says, by whose authority is this accusation made? Yeah, I mean, this is the question, right? Like, both of you have the authority to make this accusation, but it's gonna color it somewhat depending on who chooses to do it.
I think I would say my own authority.
I think I say mine at exactly the same time.
I look at him. I look at. Is the person is the adjudicator a dwarf or a human?
I think he's a dwarf. I think most people around here are dwarves. There are, of course, we talked about a few human worshippers of this god, but mostly this town is dwarves. And so, yeah, the adjudicator's like, he's like a one-armed, like old pit fighter. And he's got his chisel and he's knocking out the dwarven characters here. And yeah, when you both say that, he looks at the two of you and he says, he's like, oh, I don't think we've ever seen that before. He doesn't really know what to do.
I'm gonna parlay and try and convince him.
Yeah, and what do you want him to do? Right, if you succeed, what will he do?
To succeed, I want him to officially give this what's the word?
Sentence
him to say I want him to officially sanction him by law. By the law of and to be judged by the god. I think that's what he wants. He
Excellent.
Wants his god to judge this man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Go ahead and make that parlay.
Oh
dear. All right. So the adjudicator looks at you almost like guiltily, like he looks at you like he's about to give you bad news. And he turns to Cassius and he says, may the guilty be punished herein by the blood of the Emperor Dogmar. Hallowed be his name and visage. His cheekbones sharp as a dwarven chisel. His hair like waves of grain. And he's like mumbling and like chipping away. And he finally gets to the end of the lineage and he looks up at you, Magnus, and he says, I'm sorry, old man. You'll find things have changed around here a little bit since the last time you visited. He turns back to Cassius and he says, my lord, if you would recommend the prisoners to our care. And you see there are two other dwarves and they're wearing, they have like face masks and gloves and helmets. They basically are wearing those like dog attack suits because they have to keep handling dangerous prisoners. So they come over and they'll take Timothy from you and take him away to the holding pens to be dealt with.
Cool.
Yeah, I salute and say, Viva la dogma, and pass over the prisoner.
Yeah, and Magnus, you get the impression here from that brief conversation that, like, there's something insidious going on here above and beyond you getting your stone stolen. Like, this is unusual. This is a festival to your god, not to the Emperor. Some funny's happening around here. And they take Timothy away for his inevitable punishment, and he goes to be punished off screen somewhere. And yeah, I think you're outside. You're standing in the crowd. Your stone is still, Magnus, in the hands of a filthy human thief. What do you want to do?
I propose to the group that we head into the hall after the stone. I think he's not necessarily thinking massively clearly. He's kind of fixated on this idea that he needs to get his stone back, and so he's being a bit rash. But thinks we should head down.
Do we jump?
Cool.
Yeah, I might. Is
It's
there
a
like
very deep hole.
My eyebrow raises. No, we're not going
down.
to jump. They have an elevator or some pulley system,
So
I'm sure.
Here's the thing. Magnus, you're the most familiar with it. Let's get you to spout lore about the sacred hole of your god.
Oh, God.
All right,
Sick.
mark experience. Look how experienced you are. So here's the deal. The hole is the sacred ground. The sinkhole you cannot enter. It is divine territory. There is no, like, the only time anyone approaches is when they go out to the offering altar and they toss their petition for perfect stone down into, that's right, it's holy ground. So you throw the stone in, and that's the closest you're allowed to get. So if you're gonna go down there, just like your thief Tamara, you're going to have to wait until night falls and sneak down there.
I see.
Yeah. And it's only a little bit blasphemous. Like, you're doing it for the right reasons, but like kind of like you're not supposed to go down there, but you have a reason. You're sure.
I'm just wondering whether Magnus in his teenage years often snuck down there to sort of play with the forbidden rock. Which I imagine he might have done. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I guess it would be at least not patrolled, but have some sort of security or something around there. So we could wait. We could rest.
It's not nighttime yet, though, is it?
It's not quite night, but we can rest up until night, and that would give me a chance to shake off my confusion and get my spells there.
I know I'm very confused right now, but if we rest, I won't be. So, yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we go back to the old stone to rest up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So everyone either, if you go back to the stone and you rest, either consume a ration if you have them, or spend a coin to buy food at the inn. Either one. And then
Do we have any coin?
I don't know, but some of you might have started with some.
I got some rations. I got one ration.
Yeah, rations are fine too.
All right. Using that.
So if you spend a dungeon ration for the night, or spend a coin if you have that instead, and then you'll get some rest. You can rest through the day. Everybody will get to heal damage equal to half of your max HP, which I think should put everybody with the healing potion Nipnops. That should put you back. Any spells you might have forgotten, any of that'll recover. You're going to commune and memorize spells. And then, you can clear a condition. So for Magnus, you wake from a nap feeling much less confused about the situation before you.
Great news.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you wait. Night falls. The place, it changes tenor somewhat. I think that during the day, it's mostly people arriving and settling in, making camp. But at night, there are various night rituals to the god of what lies beneath. So there's still stuff going on, but it's quieter. And I imagine the whole town clustered around this deep sinkhole. There are pools of light, but it's quite dark, right? Like one thing that we have a hard time connecting with in like medieval fiction is how dark nighttime is. So in between these pools of torchlight or campfire, it's pitch black. So if the group of you want to move through the darkness towards the hole without being spotted, you certainly could try. But yeah, tell me what the plan is. What are you going to
do? Can I can only make one person invisible at a time, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
And as a dwarf, would I have a better time seeing in the dark? I'd imagine slightly.
That's a great question. Yeah, can dwarves see in the dark?
I reckon they've spent, especially this sort of clan of dwarves who spent so much of their life underground mining, they'd be used to it and would be quite keen-eyed.
Yeah. When we went to rest, did we establish? So we've rested for a night and then a whole day, and it's the next night, or is it that first night? What do you guys think?
I imagine it was just a few hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a few hours in the middle of the day.
So have we discussed then how to get down? Because I've never seen this before.
Yeah. So I reckon I would know of a way down. I think I've been around long enough to.
You could always spout some lore. Yeah. Like you said, if you've snuck down there before, you could try to remember, like, I wonder if there's a route that I could use to get down there. Yeah.
Come on. Oh, wow. Man, he's still confused.
Plaguing us, dude.
Can I try to spell lore to see if there's like a thief?
Three failures in a row. Mayfly, if you
say to Mayfly, I need one of those cups of tea. I'm not feeling right.
Excellent. Okay, so mark another point of experience. Magnus is almost certainly going to level at the end of the session, but so you I just think that whatever operation you used to, whatever order of operations you used to use to get down there, they have learned that trick and they've stopped it. If there was like a secret tunnel, they've blocked it. Like whatever you used to use, they're like, no, Magnus, you were bad. No one else can follow. And there's all these signs like, don't go down this tunnel. And they've cleared it up. But Mayfly, for you, it's not about spouting lore because I don't think you've ever been down there, but you could discern realities. You could look out the window because remember the inn is right on the edge of the hole. Half the inn fell into the hole. So you just have to look out the window and see, but discern realities. See if you can find a route down there.
Is that with wisdom still?
Yeah, discern realities is always with wisdom.
Oh, it's always wisdom. Okay.
Do we have rope
Fuck.
in our adventuring gear?
Rolled a 5. What'd you ask?
Okay.
Do we have rope in our adventuring gear? Spikes, ropes.
Yeah,
Oh,
now-
I've got.
Yeah, so
got
adventuring
that.
gear is a bit like a catch-all for all the stuff you might have. So we don't need to define what it is until you need it. So if you're like, I need some rope, whoop, you have rope.
Okay, all right, great.
Yeah, Mayfly, they have done a pretty damn good job of keeping this hole free of intruders. The only thing that you can see that looks like a way down is the fisherman's net. So at the top of these things, there are pulleys, right, with ropes that hang down into the hole. Because remember, they fish from this hole. They drop these big nets down there. The nets catch the flying fish, and then they reel them back up. So there is a series. There's maybe a half dozen of these pulleys around the outside that you could maybe try to lower yourself down in.
Yeah. I present that
Looks
to the group
dangerous.
and say like, well, we could use the nets. They would support some of us. Maybe the ones that haven't eaten yet. Looks at Nip Nops.
I believe him. Obviously, that this is the right way down. I say, I love it.
Magnus will probably agree to go on with pretty much any plan to get inside the hole. He's got pretty got his eyes set on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So you want to try to use the rope to like lay
Let's try and use the rope.
Okay. All right.
Nip Nops, what about you?
So it's
Well,
yeah. What do you think, Nip Knobs? You have some thoughts?
oh,
I wasn't muted. I was just miming words the whole time.
Yeah. So, like it's a totally normal thing. Everybody does.
yeah, everyone does that. It's normal.
I think it's a stupid idea, but I mean,
Well,
not
do you have a
over here.
better one, Nip Nops? You've been eating, and that's about it.
What the?
Nip Nops are going.
I got stabbed for the cause. Thank you. Also, I mean, the fishermen probably do know a perfectly safe way to get down there, and they're all drunk downstairs anyway.
That is true.
We could probably
true.
just ask them how they get down there.
Mhm.
Is a
I
valid
don't think
point.
I've. Yeah.
Or
I
we
think
could just like ride on the death nets. That's a great idea too. That's inspired. Glad everyone went along with that so easily.
I think I'm also conscious of time. I know at some point I'm going to have to take my hour's nap. I don't think that's happening. In the interest of haste, I'm pushing so everyone to get on those nets so we can do it. And
You're Hartman.
go and chat to Daddy.
Oh man.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got to go. Dad's calling. Just pass it.
Yeah, my dad hour.
Jesus.
Well, I think I agree. You're right. It would be hasty to just jump on the ropes. Let's ask around, and while still being not too obvious about what we're trying to achieve. Obviously, try and get some answers from the locals, especially now that they've had some drinks in them. We might find a safer route down.
Oh, fine.
Would you like to stay in the room, Cassius? We can go do this ourselves. You and Nips can hang
What?
around.
Why?
Well, you can't
I
go
am.
very
Kicked
far
the door
from
on
him.
me. He kicked his
Yeah,
door on me earlier, man.
We're all
I
going to go
Cannon.
downstairs and party. You have to stay here with your parole officer. Bye.
I hate this. Give me some fish.
Nip Nops, watch the door. And I sort of curl up in a little ball and don't go to sleep.
Greg, I got to call my dad. Okay. All right, so Mayfly and Magnus, you go downstairs, and as Nipnops mentioned, there is a bunch of fishermen in this tab, and they're all sitting and talking and drinking and sharing stories of the day's attempts to catch the flying fish, and it's fairly raucous. Night has fallen. People are 2 or 3 drinks in, and you descend down the stairs into this room that smells like fish and stale beer. What are you gonna do?
I look out for any of the sort of the younger looking dwarves who might be a bit more rebellious, might be a bit more likely to have snuck inside. So I'm going to do a discerning realities. Is that what?
Yeah, because you're looking around the room for like someone who is a useful like person. So yeah, go ahead and discern realities. Hey, there you go. You did it.
Nice.
You got one. So you get to ask me one question from the list, and you can also technically ask me like whatever you want, but I'm only going to answer as if you were asking me one of those. So if you are looking for something specific, you can ask for it, and it would kind of fall into what's useful or valuable. So yeah, what are you looking for? What question you want to ask?
Yeah, what would be useful? What would be useful to me here? Yeah.
So
sure.
I think that as you look around the room, we follow from your vision, right? The camera tracks with your line of sight, and so we see, a couple of old priests drinking and talking about religion, right? About the best kinds of stone. We see a bunch of tables of fishermen playing some kind of like dice game, and then in the back corner you see two young dwarves, a woman and a man. They're maybe in their like early 20s. I don't know what that is in dwarf. You see the two of them, and they're not dressed like priests, they're not dressed like fishermen. One of them has a headband on with a little platform on the front of it to put a candle in. There's a length of rope hanging off of the back of one chair, and you're like, you recognize that gear. These two are thinking about the forbidden spelunking. And so you see them, and they're sitting at this table in the back talking and looking kind of suspicious, but they don't, nobody else seems to have noticed them.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make my way over to them.
Okay.
But not in an intimidating way, quite a friendly way. And I'm gonna sit down next to them. And say, how's it going there, dwarf friends?
Hey, they both look over at you, and they kind of scowl, and the woman is like, we're no friends of yours, old man. Move along.
And what about that gear you've got on? What you doing with that?
Kind of look, and they're like, none of your business. And you'll keep it that way if you know what's good for you. And they kind of like menace you a little. Like one, she puts her hand on this like climbing axe that's sitting next to her. Kind of looks at you like, look out of here.
All right, let me see what. I don't think I want to cast any of my rotes on them. I don't think I can.
Yeah, I mean, so remember, you discerned reality first. So whatever you do as relates to these two, you'll get a +1.
I'll get a bonus. Okay. I think. All right. And then I'm going to say it might not be any of my business, but I doubt the council will want to hear anything about this. And I raise my eyebrows suggestively.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like you're parlaying here in the sense of like,
you
need to tell me what you're doing, or I'm gonna go tell somebody important that you're gonna do something bad. It's basically a threat, like hook me in, or there you go. Okay, so let's see, you have a +1 forward, so it's actually a 10. So there's no conditions here. So they're like, oh, okay, all right, old man. Why don't you and your halfling friend pull up a seat? And they gesture, and Mayfly, you and Magnus come and sit with these two dwarves. And the woman, she says, my name is Celine. It's my brother Straunt. We're spelunkers. Don't tell anybody, all right? And he says, listen.
They say with spelunking gear, like on their chairs.
Yeah, they don't, this is clearly their first time. So they're like,
I'm looking at him in the eyes and then look up at the candle. Right. Yes. No, we won't.
Yeah. And he says, so listen, this is the thing. They every year the faithful come and like they throw these stones in, and it's not all, granite and shale. There's gems just being thrown into this hole. Think about how many diamonds and rubies and sapphires are just laying down there, waiting to be taken by anybody. So why not us?
Oof. This is a tough decision for Magnus because
fight it, Magnus.
However this progresses, he's sort of
Magnus just
breaking his
flips the
sacred
table.
oath.
Blasphemy.
I think he's gonna go for the deceitful tactic. All right, Magnus nods along and says, "I know. There's all sorts of wonders down there. I can help you. I've been inside those caves before. I can show you. I can show you where to find the nicest gems."
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, you got that 10 on the parlay, so they're like,
Is this-
and
Is this the first
Sorry,
time
JP,
that
go ahead.
Mayfly has ever like seen you be deceitful in this way?
I think Magnus isn't a deceitful person by nature. I think he sticks to his law and his oaths and his sort of honor. So this goes against what he believes. So I doubt you've seen him.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's an internal moment of like a heartwarming feeling for Mayfly. He sees his
Aw.
forced friend turn to the ways of thievery and deceit. But that's it.
Would it be
Good.
true friendship?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they I think that the thing is, so Magnus they basically let you in on the plan. They're like, okay, yeah, you can be a partner. We'll cut you in, you and your friend. This is how we're gonna do it. And I think rather than them explaining the whole plan, we pan down to the table and they have some kind of diagram of where they're gonna climb down, and they have the gear already, and they kind of show you their plan. And we crossfade away to Cassius, who is in the paladin sleep, communing with Dad God. Nipnops, what are you doing? You can't really leave. Your parole officer is asleep. And you're alone in this room, and you can smell the delicious smell of fish coming from down below.
I know, but you know what else I can smell? It's the delicious ozone from my backpack.
That's right.
I want to
Yeah, you
just
have a whole bag full
try
of
to, like-
stinky forbidden books.
yeah, I want to try to just kind of casually like flip through one of these books so that if Cassius were to wake up, I'd be like, "Oh, hello, just reading one of my books." Except not say that out loud because then he'll know.
Yeah, so with these books, if you want to spout lore on a topic of forbidden magic, you can. You get to roll spout lore and you get a +1 if you use one of your books. If there is some
Yes.
forbidden magic thing you'd like to
I would
know
like
about.
to spout lore about one of these books. I'm looking for something specific.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I am looking for spells about bindings.
Oh, so you want to see if there is a forbidden spell that can break the connection between you and Cassius?
Yes.
Yeah, sick. All right, do it. Spout lore, you get a +1. The book is called On Elven Bondage.
Okay,
Yes,
so that's
you
an
nail
11.
You got it. Okay. Yes, there
The
is
book
a
is called
ritual.
Elven Bondage. Is that what you said?
Yeah, On Elven Bondage.
You get free.
There's a passage in this book that will allow you to sever the connection between a master and his hound, right? To break, and I think it's probably even called like breaking the leash. And so it is a ritual within. And so that means, let me look at that. You have a move called ritual. I will tell you the requirements. So with a ritual, what you need is, first of all, a place of power. Guess what? Here you are, right? This whole area is a place of power. And I think that I got to pick 1 to 4 of the following conditions. 1, you need to know the words of the ritual, which you've already done. You'll need help from a book. And I think that you will have to. It's gonna take you time. It'll take about an hour to perform the ritual. It's mostly chanting and waving your hands, but it takes an hour of uninterrupted chanting and hand waving. You look over at Cassius, who is still in the midst of the coma. You may yet have time, but it'd be a big rush. Or you can wait.
Oh, God. I'm going to wait.
Okay, so you just close the book like soon.
Yeah.
Right. So Magnus Mayfly, and your new friends Celine and Straunt, you have a plan for descending down into the Forbidden Hole. I'm gonna find a new way of describing that. That's not good. You have a plan
Shame the
for
dwarves, Adam.
entering the sacred orifice. Anyway, there's a big hole in the ground. Now you know how to get down there. But you will have to sneak to the edge where Straunt and Celine have already created an opportunity. They've hijacked one of these winches that will get you down to the first place, and then from there they've got climbing equipment that'll let you climb down into the base, where supposedly there's just a carpet of gems just laying there waiting to be hoovered up by an ambitious climber. So is there anything else that you want to do? Cassius, you wake up and Nipnops is just sitting there reading a book. Mayfly and Magnus, you have your plan. So if there's anything else, Straunt and Celine are like, that's it. We got to go now. If there's anything else you need to do it. And then we'll go.
I brush my hair after my nap. That's what I always do. And I say I'm ready.
It's good. You gotta look beautiful. It's important. Self-care is important.
How was your dad? How's he doing? Still a god? Fascinating.
He was busy.
Really? So you just kind of sat in queue for a while? Is that how that works?
Hard to
Just
explain.
like waiting for dad to pay attention, and then you were like, well,
trying to
gotta wake
commune
up.
You
trying to
wouldn't
commune with
understand.
your dad on like patch day or expansion pack release day. Woof, don't even bother.
True.
It was a busy time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you
Great.
you take a moment to gather your wits about you, and then I think we diagonal wipe to the group of you, and you have just skulked through the darkness to the edge of the pit, and Straunt and Celine they've bribed. You watch them bribe one of the fishermen to use his winch. So they give him a wad of cash to use the winch, and then they kind of like usher you in, and inside they have prepared a platform. It's basically a wooden pallet, and it's got hooks around the corners, and then they hook that onto where the net would normally be, and then people stand on the pallet, and then somebody's got to, and this is the thing, Straunt and Celine look at each other, and they look at you, and they're like, somebody's got to stay up here and lower and raise you. They need to keep an eye out. So, and everybody kind of like
I'll do
looks
it.
around at each other. Nipnops, you're like, hey, I volunteer.
Would this need to be someone who's quite got a high strength? Is that a part of it?
What?
If there's a lot
Oh,
of
come
us?
on. No, this is incredible engineering here, so that anybody could do this job, right?
I'm not sure Cassius would let Nipnops stay up here by himself.
Yeah, where goeth Cassius, so too Nipnops. So
Yeah. I'd
All
laugh.
right, fine.
Ha. You wish.
all
right.
Straunt and Celine, like they're happy to go on winch duty. There are 4 of you, so it would maybe be safer with the 2 of them. So they offer that up. They're like, listen, we could stay up here. We'll lower you down. You can, and they point, and you fill up that chest. There's a little wooden chest sitting on the crate. Fill that with as many gems as you can, and then we'll winch you back up.
I want to use one of my moves called I Am the Law, which is I'm going to tell them, by the Lord of Dogma, you will pull that winch.
Okay, cool.
And now to roll that.
We were gonna.
I like leaning
Pull
next
that
to
winch.
Nipnops. Rather dramatic.
Yeah, go ahead,
You
make
tried
the
telling
move.
him that.
Hey, 9.
Okay.
Success.
So you give them an order based on your divine authority. They have to choose to do what you say, back away cautiously and flee, or attack you. So they look at each other and they look at you, and Straunt says, yes, of course. And Celine nods in agreement. As you say, Lord Paladin, we wouldn't think of leaving you down there. And she's not lying. She's not lying. You have divinely forced them to not ditch you in the hole. So they gesture like, please, onto the platform.
Viva la Dogma. And I jump in the net.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you
just
get onto
woke up.
this.
Kind of a bitch when he's just woken up. I'm so sorry about that.
And you climb up onto this platform, and Celine swings the arm out over the dark hole, over this enormous sinkhole. And for you, Magnus, this is a form of sort of communion with your god, right? Like this is the passage into the underworld. And you can feel in the air the sort of divine providence of such a holy place.
I think I'm definitely
for the rest of
muttering
you,
sort of an apology or a prayer in the Dwarven language under my breath as I enter into this forbidden orifice.
For the rest of you, it's less a sense of like communion with the divine and more a terrifying swing over a drop into darkness. Like this is the thing creaks and swings slightly, and you're holding onto the ropes, but and Straunt and Celine begin to rotate the crank that slowly lowers you down into the darkness. Now, Nipnops, you're an elf. Can elves see in the dark?
It depends on what type of elf you are. I was raised like in an above ground village, so my eyes are basically the same as humans.
Yeah. Okay. And Mayfly, halflings, any special tricks for seeing in the dark?
No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty adjusted to daily lit life in one way or the other.
So Magnus, we may have use again of your light rote, the trick that you use to make that table glow, because your companions very quickly the moonlight from above fades, and soon they're descending into a bleak oubliette. So did you want to help out and cast a spell?
Once we disappear far enough in to not be seen from the lip, I create a small light with let me just get up the thing, and I cast
cast that spell.
Cast that spell. Where is it?
There you go. All right. Okay. So, which of these effects would you like to choose?
I'm probably gonna want to cast this again, potentially. So I'm gonna take the -1 ongoing, because I really want to sneak in here, and I don't want anyone to witness.
And it makes perfect sense, right? That your prayers, maybe you stutter or stumble a bit because you are doing something that your god's tenets disagree with. So
yeah.
Okay.
Right. So that's a minus. Oh, that's just one ongoing -1.
Yes, -1 ongoing, only casting spell. So next time you cast a spell, remember that you're a -1. So the creak, the sound of revels up above, the creak of the pulley slowly fade, and all you can hear as you descend, there's a ball of light around you as you descend. All you can hear, and it's quiet at first, is the faint kind of whispering sound of fish wings. It gets louder and louder as you descend.
What does that sound like, Adam? Can we get a... We're okay. All right. I just going for full immersion here.
I don't get paid enough to make fish wing sounds. So you begin to descend in this, and it's clear that like moths to a flame, these flying cave fish, they are drawn to the light. And so I think probably because Cassius has the most gravitas, Cassius is the first to get hit in the face with a fish. So we see Cassius just standing there, and you just hear this like flap. And Cassius, something wet hits you in the face. And then we hear more like flap, flap. And like all around you, these fish are just flying at the source of the light. And they're just hitting you. And you're all getting pummeled by these fish. And then all of a sudden there's more of them. And you're all getting like knocked around by these excitable fish. And they're landing on the platform and flopping around. And it's becoming quite the hurricane of fish down here. What are you going to do? Because they're going to just knock you off this platform if you're not careful.
I would like to take a sort of defensive stance to try and sort of use my body to protect everyone.
Excellent. Good choice. Okay. All right. So why don't you roll to defend? So you're going to roll that move, roll defend. And so Cassie's going to use you're going to use your shield, and it's perfect.
Oh wow. There you go.
All right.
Hold 3.
So don't worry about holding or any of that stuff for the defend move. I think you just you protect your friends from being knocked off the platform by fish.
Yes.
And it doesn't last that long, right? Like your shield is pummeled by flying fish for a while, and eventually you come out the other side of the fish storm. They're above you, but they don't come any lower than this. And until this point, the walls, and you're only close enough to one. The walls of the sinkhole are natural stone, right? They're just kind of rough and like there's water dripping off of them, and you can see the little fish nests, I guess, little like pools where the water gathers. I don't know, but Dodger, you made up the fish thing. I assume that they have to live in water because they're fish, but they fly around up in this middle level. So you pass through that territory, and you notice that the walls now have a more like a well-like quality. You can see they're carved stone. Now this place, it's ancient, but something has been like built down here in eons past. And once you get out of the fish storm, you are lowered to the ground. And you know, Magnus, for all of their bullshit, it's true. The floor of this cenote, the floor of this hole is covered in stones. Some cut, some uncut, some large, some small, some glitter in the light of your spell. It is clear, Mayfly, to you as a person of discerning eye, that yeah, there's like quite a lot of very expensive gemstones down here. Yeah, it's pretty big down at the bottom. You can't see all the way around with the light spell, right? You just have a little torch bubble of light. You step off the platform.
I step off the platform and I tell my companions, do not touch the crystals. Do not touch the rocks. Or it will anger the gods.
Yeah,
really
you look
close,
over and there's a
Cassius
stone
was just-
staircase leading up to a platform with a gold lamp on it, and it's a kid and his monkey. Yeah, like it's littered. The floor is littered with treasure. As far as you can see, but yeah, if you want to walk around and take a look, because your stone theoretically should be down here somewhere, Magnus.
But do I believe that it's in the possession of the sister of Tina?
Yeah.
Tiara?
Yeah, whatever her name is, Tamara. Yeah.
How much light is my light giving off? Is it illuminating all the walls around me?
No, just a little. Yeah, like if the bottom is like, you know, this big, then your light is only like a little pool. Right?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Weird.
So you're like down over on one corner.
Right.
So there's lots more hole down here.
That I can't see. All right.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess I will step out and try to take a look around the room. Use my eyesight to make out anything of interest. Perhaps discern realities.
It sounds like a discern realities to me. Yep.
Come on. Hey, I'll do.
Okay, so you can ask me one question from the discern realities list. What would you like to know?
What should I be on the lookout for?
You are not alone down here. There is an ominous presence, a presence that you have felt before. The presence of shadow magic. You feel that same sort of chill, above and beyond the fact that it's like quite cold down here. But you feel like in your soul, you feel a chill looking around.
Okay. I tell my compatriots, be careful. There's a dark magic at work here.
Lead the way.
Okay, yeah. I make my way through
A brave thing to say. Dark magic, huh? Well, go ahead. After you.
He's the only one that can see.
Yeah, I mean, there is a bubble of light, so you know you can see around you.
No, but they're right. I'm the only one who can really see beyond that. So I make my way through into the center of the chamber with my warhammer in hand, just trying to move around with caution into the center of the room. and try and listen out for anything. I don't know.
Yeah,
Can't make my
just
light
like
any
examining
bigger.
the area. Yeah, sure. So,
Yeah,
so I mean, that's
exactly.
what you're doing is you're discerning realities. You're walking around, you're looking for stuff. I think that yeah, as you look around, again, just like piles of what most people would consider either trash or treasure, depending on how they feel about perfect stones. But there's all these rocks, all these offerings. You look around, layers and layers of them, and you're stepping carefully as not to disturb the treasure, because technically all of these stones belong, whether they were chosen or not, they belong to Volos, right? So you carry on through here, and you're being very careful and not stepping anything. And that's when you hear a rasping breath. You hear someone struggling to breathe in the darkness. You can hear them like inhale, and there's this like wet kind of bubbling sound, and on the exhale there's like a pained wheeze. Somebody is trying to breathe and not having a great time of it. It's just over on the other side.
Don't know. Just leave it.
I shout out, "Who goes there?"
No,
And
come
it sort of
on.
echoes
It
around
sounds
the-
gross.
So it echoes off the walls. Who goes there? Somewhere up above, a fisherman hears something from the hole. The hole speaks. But down below, you hear a pained voice say, "Help, please."
It's a trap.
Is this person
it.
telling the truth? Is my nose itch?
I mean, yeah, they are telling the truth in that they need you to help them. Yes.
Help them get fed. Boo! We're not helping you, bitch.
I can't see.
So when you say that, Nipnops, when you say that, you hear there's a pause, and you hear Nipnops.
Oh my god! What the fuck is wrong? Why are you down here?
So you want to go over to the source of the sound?
No, she can suffer.
You're just like, no, I hate you. Just suffer down here.
Let's suck being all the way over there after doing a big old scheme to get a rock, you asshole.
And you
Magnus,
hear
Magnus starts to make his way towards the voice. So I think whilst this conversation's going
Cassius
on,
follows. Close.
Yeah. So Magnus and Cassius, you stride across the room, and you see, laying against the wall over here, and the light goes with you, so everybody kind of has to go too. So she appears in the light. You see the form of a human woman. She is clearly dying because from the like ribs down, she has just become one with the stone. So her legs just blend right into the stone itself. She's got one arm like in the wall, and it just stops at the elbow and probably the back of her head, and she's just like stuck there like she's been cocooned by the stone, and she's looking at you with like the one eye that's still sticking out of the wall, and she's like, Hypnops, please help.
I can't do anything about this. Is this what happens when you grab a rock off the floor? Is that what you were telling us about? Because I will not touch any of those.
On magic, can I use my spell more than once? My lay on hands. How many times can I use it?
Yeah, I think you can. Let me look at the trigger for it. So your lay on hands. I don't know that being sucked into a wall is a disease.
Okay.
No, you can do it whenever you need to. It's just you have to have the opportunity, and you need to be able to do it. But yeah, this person is not. She's not suffering from a disease. She's been cursed or something.
So she doesn't look like she's not bleeding or anything. It's just
no. I mean, she's dying because people. Yeah, she's not supposed to. Her organs are failing because half of them are stone now.
Yeah.
I think I walk up to her. So I assume I know from the letter and everything that this is the person who had the stone. And kneel down next to her. I guess I can see it's not in her possession. Or can I?
I mean, you could ask. You can't see it, but she definitely knows where it is.
Where I ask her, where is the stone, and what happened to you?
She says, he took it and then did this to me. And when you step out into the light, when she looks past Magnus, she sees Cassius and her eyes go like her eye, I guess, goes wide with fear, as if she's seeing something frightening. And she starts to like try to move, but she can't because she's stuck in the wall. And she just like, and like starts to like try to breathe. And it's clear that she's dying. But seeing Cassius frightened her.
I'm gonna discern realities.
Yeah.
Damn. So, I grab her face and say, "What?"
Okay. Did you got a 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Okay. So you lean in to grab her. You like kneel down. And you're like about to give her the full on like paladin interrogation. Mayfly, somebody is approaching. You hear just the quietest like footsteps in the darkness behind you. No one else seems to have noticed.
Do I have like I know I have tricks of the trade, but I don't have like a stealth or hide maneuver, right?
So if you want to hide, you're basically defying danger, and the danger is somebody notices you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna kind of slink away into the shadows to the best of my ability.
You're like, trouble? No, thanks. Okay.
Right,
All right.
right.
So all of a sudden, everybody Mayfly has disappeared. You look around, you're like, shit, Mayfly, what's going on? So I guess maybe Nipnops, you're the one that sees this figure approach. So you turn as the woman stuck in the rock starts to like die, looking at Cassius with fear. You look past Cassius and she's looking behind him, and you see someone that looks very much like Cassius, but is wearing a black, like a military uniform with a steel breastplate, and on the breastplate, holding the cloak in place, there is a metal crest, and it is of a dog holding a leash in its mouth, and you see the unmistakable sharp cheekbones of the House of Dogmar. And I think that Cassius, you notice Nipnops looking, and Magnus, you notice, and you turn, and the camera turns around, and we see, Cassius, we see your brother, Douglas, and he is holding in his hand, Magnus, your perfect stone. And so we all turn and look, and he snarls, and he looks at you, Cassius, and he says, perfect. So good to see you again, brother. I'm glad you'll be here to witness my ascension. And I think the stone begins to glow. The tunnel itself begins to rumble, and that is where we cliffhanger our one shot. That's where we end.
What?
No way.
There you go.
Who's gonna backstab him too, man?
Role play. If you want this to be a 2-shot, wink.
Oh man. Dougie Dogma.
Dougie Doug.
Old Douglas.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was just saying you're gonna.
Yeah.
I was half hoping / expecting he was gonna have like a belt around his head that was kind of. Did you get Doug at all over there? I don't know if people remember Doug from Nickelodeon. Anyways, cool. That's a 1-shot.
Oh, that's epic.
That's right.
Wow.
Might be a 2-shot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey, well, yeah,
Thanks,
exactly.
Adam.
Yeah.
We gotta find out the rest of this mystery.
Yeah, 2020 is soon. We close
Yeah.
out the end of these shows with some shout outs. I don't have shout out cards for everyone, but we can still do them regardless. Dodger, you want to start us off being the old pro at this? You've done shout outs for
Sure.
years, Dodger. Show them how it's done.
Hi guys. It is a delight to be on another one shot. Thank you guys for inviting me on. It's always fun to play with new people. So this was a blast for me. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every day. Again, we are having some like off and on internet issues while we get set up here. But yeah, that's it. Please let them know if you enjoyed this, because I would love to come back and play Nip Nops again. He's a piece of shit. Enjoy it.
For sure. For sure. Adam, you want to go next?
I would love to. Thank you, JP. Thanks for coming, everybody. It is always a delight to get to do these one-shots. It's super fun. So thank you for coming and checking out. If you are interested in seeing more of Dungeon World, there's lots of different ways to get it. Go to dungeon.world. You could get the PDF or the real like physical game there. But honestly, it's free in a bunch of other places on the internet. The one we were using today is all built into Roll20. So you could just go and play it right now. Go check it out. This was Dungeon World. If you want to see what I'm up to, otherwise you can follow me on Twitter at Skinny Ghost or on Twitch, twitch.tv/Adam Koebel, where usually I do prep stuff for these kinds of shows. So if you're looking for like backstage content, that's where you'll find it.
Cool. Morgan,
Yeah.
Asa, thanks again for playing. If you guys want to do shout outs, whatever you feel like shouting out.
It's been a pleasure, honestly. Thank you, Adam, JP, Dodgers. It's been really cool. We had a fun evening. We don't get to play D&D too often or anything like that, so it's been fun to get back into it. And yeah, I mean, I hope we can do this again. I enjoy playing Magnus. I hope we can do some more rock smashing and adventuring. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, hopefully see you all again.
Yeah, for sure.
Viva la dogma.
Viva la dogma.
Viva la dogma.
Yeah, maybe we just end on that. Maybe that's the last line. That's where we'll go. Cool. Yeah, you might see us again in 2020 with the same show. Maybe do a two-shot here. Because obviously we have to find out what happens to Doug, right? Like we can't just let him get the last line. That asshole Doug.
Totally.
But yeah, that's it for Roleplay in 2019. We'll be back, I believe, on the 7th with Court of Swords. I know that's the first planned one. There might be a Star Wars show in between there, and there also might be a sci-fi show with Farverona. So if you want to check any of that out, you can just check out the schedule here on the offline image on the Twitch page, or just go over to youtube.com/itmeJP and grab any of those VODs. So that is it for the one shot. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you guys for playing.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
See you guys
next time.
Thanks for coming, friends. Bye, everybody.
All right, everyone.